Hi, it's Keith from Cloud Design Box. Welcome to the video. In today's session, we're going to be looking at practice within Reading Coach. Now, this is something really new from Microsoft, and it allows us to create a practice so we can track our students' progress within Reading Coach. We can set it up in two ways. So we can set up an open practice where students can choose their content and read towards a time goal. Or we can set up a single passage where students will read a passage selected by ourselves. If you like what you see today, please hit the like button. Please do subscribe. So let's get over into Reading Coach. Here we are in Reading Coach, and I'm logged in as a teacher today. So to get started, I can click Create a Practice, and first thing I need to do is give that practice a title. So once we've given the reading practice a title, we then need to give it a due date. I'm going to give it 1 week. And then we get to choose the practice type. So we can set it to open, where a student can just read any passage they like from the passage selection within Reading Coach. Or we can set a passage chosen by ourselves. We're going to go down that option today. So we're going to select single passage, and I can then choose a passage from the library. Or I can create and add my own passage. To keep things easy, I'm just going to select from a passage and then select next. For those of you that have used Reading Coach before, I get to select a passage just like a student would. I'm going to go for a level 4 today. And from here, I'm going to choose a passage on dinosaurs. This is the passage that our students will now be reading. And all I do is select next. And this will then create a join code. So students can now go into Reading Coach on their own and select the practice option and enter in the join code that we've shared with them. Or we can guide our students into Reading Coach by using the link provided. So I'm going to just copy the link and I can select done. This then shows me the practices which we've got set up. In this case, I've only just got one practice here. And all I need to do now is paste the link into a team or potentially any email. From here, I can create additional reading practices, and I can also see what the student sees at the top here just by sliding the button over. However, we've now finished in this screen for the time being. I'm just going to go over into Teams. I've got an English team here. I'm going to start a post, and then all I need to do then is paste in the link. I can now post that into my team, and that's now ready for my students to pick up. So let's go over into the student view. Here we are in a student view, and as we can see within the class team, we now have our reading practice, and there's the link. So all the student needs to do now, select the link. This will then open it up directly into Reading Coach, and as we can see, the code from the teacher has automatically populated the box here. So all the student needs to do now is click join. The student will then see the list of current reading practices. They can also see any previous practice. So all the student now needs to do is select the reading practice they want to have a go at, and then click start. So once the student has finished reading the passage, just like any other times when we come to use Reading Coach, it will give them the results page, 22% accuracy in this case. Reading time was 15 seconds, we didn't read the whole amount. And then also they get the words to practice. They still do get the option to be able to read the passage again, go to something else, or they can have a go at trying the practice words. If the student goes back to the home page, they can then use Reading Coach as normal, or they can still go back into the My Practice area and then retry any of the practice sessions that have been set for them. Let's go back over into the teacher view, and then we can either go back into Reading Coach using the link that we set, or we can just access Reading Coach from our app launcher. And that's now opened up. And as you can see, we've got our reading practice for week 1. And we've got one student who's completed the work. I can select it. It will open it up. It will then tell me how my students have got on. And again, I can click on the individual student and it will tell me how many times the students had a go, the reading time, the accuracy, correct words per minute. And I can click on any of these boxes and it will then open up a graph, in this case for reading time. I can close that. And then I get a full overview just to see exactly how my students have got on. And click the arrow to go back and back again. And there's my practices. And then I get an option to be able to create a new passage. The idea of the Reading Coach practice sessions is to help students into reading, but it's designed not to take the place of reading progress in Teams assignments. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button. Please do subscribe, and if you click on the activity bell, you'll be notified every time Cloud Design Box uploads a fresh video. Thanks for watching.